everyone and welcome back. In the last video, we explored of how J.J. Thomson discovered the electrons. Now we're going to be learning about how the other things were discovered, so, just a second. So, what was the question last time? That if you have a atom, then how does a oxygen atom differ from a gold atom? Now we talked about there were electrons, meaning negatively charged, and some positively charged things in there as well. Now, Rutherford was a student of J.J. Thomson, and he kind of doubted, and he had a kind of like a feeling that there was something other than just the electron and the positively charged particles. So he did a experiment. What was the experiment? So first he had a very thin sheet of gold leaf, you can say, and that was covered by a kind of like a curve of material that will shine when some alpha particles were shooted at it. Now, one thing to think was that they thought that the alpha particle will either shoot through. Alpha particles, just saying, are very positively charged, meaning they have lots of that positive things, So they shooted those atoms like that, shooted it. But what they saw was that 1 in 1,000 atoms got deflected. You see, they got deflected. They ended up over here. Some even returned back to where they started from. Now, how can that be? They concluded that in an atom, there is a dense nucleus in the middle. Now, what do they mean by a nucleus? Because if most of the things just pass through like that, most of the atoms just pass through like that, but some of them happened to bump into the nucleus, so that's why they got deflected or bounced back. Now, because alpha particles are mostly positively charged, so they were shooting positively charged things at it, that's why they got deflected, because if they were negatively charged, they would attract each other, right? But these repelled each other, meaning in the nucleus there was positive charge. So he also told that apart from the nucleus being in the middle, the positively charged particles didn't just float around like electrons, like how electrons were all around the atom. Positively charged things weren't like that, right? He said that was in the nucleus, right? So that's how he did it. Okay? Now he called these positively charged particles protons. Protons. Protons? Positive. Now let's also talk about another thing. Now there was another student of Rutherford who I forgot his name, but you can look it up, okay? Sorry about that. But there was this another student of Rutherford, and he said that, okay, I have a doubt that something's going to be in the nucleus other than just the positively charged. Something else. Because if that was positively charged and that was negatively charged, then that will just fall into the nucleus. There was something else in there. So what he did was to do another experiment. So he had this he had an atom in the middle and he had a nucleus. What he tried to do was to take out the other particle in there. So he tried to take out the other particle in the nucleus. So if we zoom into the nucleus, this is just the nucleus, okay? It is got positively charged, right? He tried to take out all the positively charged particles by some kind of thing back then. Um, I won't go into that much detail of it right now, but he tried to take out the positively charged things, and then what he did was that with this particle left in the nucleus, there was something else left in there he could see. What he did was he put them under a tube. Now that tube on one side had a positively charged disk and on the bottom side on a negatively charged disk. Now when he shooted those things in, they did not reflect at any side. They did not reflect at all. What does that mean? It means that those particles that were shooting off didn't have any charge. Because if they did, they would go towards that charge, right? So they didn't have any charge. So this student of Rutherford said that this experiment tells me that there's something else in the nucleus, which is just not positive or negative. It was just a particle. And he called that the neutrons. Neutrons meaning neutral. Neutral. So that's why he called it neutrons. Okay? So also this experiment that Rutherford did, shooting the alpha particles, was done with him and some of his students as well. Okay? So hope you learned all of this. We're gonna move more onto the molecular and all those types of atoms after this video. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you in the next video. Hope you understood everything. Hope you learned something new, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care and bye-bye.